why journaling doesn't always work for neurodivergent people, and some alternatives to try for me, a neurodivergent therapist. So your counsellor or your therapist, or you might have read about this online, may have suggested journaling as a tool to help you with your emotional processing. Now, it's well evidenced that journaling can really help with this, to get your thoughts down on paper, to help you identify your emotions and to be able to work your way through them. There are many reasons why journaling might not work for a neurodivergent person. It may be that we struggle to get motivated to journal. It may be that we feel we have to do it every day and that becomes too much of a pressure, and that internal demand just puts us into a bit of a freeze response where we just can't do it. It may be that the method of journaling is just not working for us. So pen and paper in a pretty notebook like this might work for you, which is great. But actually, it might be better for you to think much smaller. It might be that you're just going to write down a few words about how you're feeling on a post-it note. So write a couple of things down about how you're feeling that day. You might even throw it away. You might keep it. You might put it on a pin board somewhere where you can remember it, and just do that whenever you feel like it. You might, like me, be more of a verbal processor, which means that we often have to say things out loud in order to make sense of it. Now, so that can be really helpful if you've got a therapist or a friend and it feels safe to share things with. That's really, really helpful. But for when we don't have that, actually think about leaving a voice note for yourself. You can record yourself on a WhatsApp note, and that can really help you make sense of what you're feeling. Other things you might use, you might try an app. So you might try a tracker app that just tracks your mood, and that can really help if you get one of those apps. There's one called How We Feel, which gives you a plethora of different words for your emotions that you can pick from. And where that's really helpful for neurodivergent people is if we have alexithymia, which is the difficulty identifying and naming emotions, then actually that's going to really help us be very specific about how we think we're feeling at that particular time. But we can just use the app whenever we feel like it. You can do a daily check-in and set a reminder if you want, but just reduce the pressure. So there is no pressure to do this every day. Just do it whenever you feel like it's going to be useful for you. Other things you might do photo journaling. So you might just snap a photo on your phone of something that you feel evokes a certain emotion, or you might see a picture in a magazine that you can just snap a picture of or cut out and do a collage of how you're feeling. Do something creative with it. And you might just use your notes app on your phone just to write a couple of things down whenever you feel like you need to get something off your chest, if you need to make sense of the thoughts in your head. Write it down, then you can come back to it if you want. But even if you don't, the very act of actually thinking through what you're going to write and then writing it down can really help how your brain is processing things. So if you've liked this, then follow along for more tips, and also keep an eye out for my book that's coming out in May next year, and that's Neurodivergent Affirming Therapy book, and that's for therapists and counsellors and coaches, but also it's got chapters in there with suggestions like this for ways we can really work with our neurodivergent brains instead of against them.